I says I if one of the next two letters is another vowel. I says I if the next two letters are consonants. IGH says I. Y at the end of short words says I. And if you're spelling the I sound at the end of a one-syllable word, you're going to spell it with a Y. I in the middle syllable says I. TI and CI both say sh if they're almost to the end of a multisyllable word and there's a vowel after it, as in special or efficient. And I'm glad that we have this extra class today, still reviewing I, because I want to give you some more of those TIs and CIs, which we hadn't had too much practice reviewing the last couple lessons. All right, so let's get working. Let me share my screen. All right, so just like normal, we're going to do our first one together. Today, our first one is cly. We're going to do this one together, cly. Let's separate the sounds. We have k, l, I. Consonants, k, l, and then our I sound at the end of a one vowel word is always spelled with a Y. We're not ever going to spell a word, in this class at least, with an I at the end. Because English words don't end in I. Only hi does. When you're spelling a word that ends with an I sound, buy, shy, try, fly, you're going to spell it with a Y. Good, good. Okay, your word is shry. Shry. Go ahead and spell it, and then if you want to, drop it in the chat for me or in the Q&A. Shry. Shry. Good. Yeah. Good, good. So shry, our consonants are sh, making one consonant sound, so it gets one line. Even though there's two letters, it makes one sound, and we're separating sounds, not letters. And then we have and then we're going to spell that I sound at the end with a Y. So this is shry. This is a tricky one because of this guy right here. Whenever you hear that long sh sound, you're going to spell it with an SH. All right, okay. Number 2. Our word together is fipid, and that first sound is an F. Fipid. Let's do that one together. F, I, p, I, d. Consonants. F, I, p, I, d. Vowels. Our I can spell the long I sound just fine right there because there's another vowel in the next one or two spots. So we don't need to add another vowel next to it or anything like that because there's already a vowel in the next one or two positions. And this I can spell I just fine right here because there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. So that is how you spell fipid. Yes, Beverly, I can. Fipid. Good. Okay, your word is, now the first letter in the word that we just spelled was an F, and F and TH have very similar sounds, and it's kind of hard to discriminate between them in a mic. So I'll probably usually tell you if it's an F or if it's a TH. This one, it's a TH. Your word is thigh-bit. Thigh-bit. Go ahead. Thigh-bit. Nice, Sarah. Good. So that first sound is a TH. Thigh-bit. Okay, consonants. Yeah, there we have our TH, and then for the th sound, our B in the middle, and it ends with a consonant T sound. For the I sound, I can use an I just fine right here because there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. And for the I sound, I can also use an I right here just fine without 2 T's. Because as long as there's not a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, even if it's a blank, you don't need, or this I can say I just fine. So it can be the second to last letter as long as there's not a vowel right there. It can still say I. So this is why this I says I and this I says I, because of where it is in the word and the letters that surround it. Don't you just love that? All right, number 3. Our word together is biffim. Now the sound in the middle is an F. Biffim. Let's count those sounds or separate them. B, I, f, I, m. Consonants. B, I, f, I, m. Okay, let's figure this out. We're going to approach our reading kind of like a math problem. We're kind of using an equation or a formula to figure out the spelling of words so that we can use our intelligence to do it without having to just wonder, right? So for the I sound right here, can I start spelling the I sound with an I because that's the only letter, good Nathan, that's the only letter that can say I. However, can it say I here if I left this as is? It cannot, because there's an I there. I mean, there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. That means that I would have to say its name. I don't want it to say its name. I want it to say I. But in order for that to happen, there has to be 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, we make 2. So now I can say I. And this I can say I just fine because there is not a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. So there's biffim. Biffim. Okay, yours is drippin'. Drippin'. And my mouth is open at the end. It's an N, not an M. Drippin'. Go ahead. Drippin'. Good. Drippin'. Nice, Imelda. Very good, John. Okay, so we have our consonants. We have D, R, I, P, I, N. Now this is why I'm so impressed with your spelling of this word, because you probably already know how to spell drip. I mean, you've been living a long time. You probably know how to spell this word, but you didn't stop there when you went to spell it. You knew that it must have 2 P's because of what you're learning. That's brilliant. That's so good. Because if it didn't have 2 P's, it would say drypin, right? In order for this I to say I, it must have 2 consonants after it. So if you added 2 right there, well done. If you didn't, as long as you know now that there needs to be 2 consonants after it, well done. And then this I can say I just fine right here. Oh, no worries, Clement. I was praying for everybody today because I knew that there was a new, well, I pray for you every class actually, but I knew that there was a new ID and a new password. So I'm glad that you guys kind of came in pretty seamlessly for the most part. Well done. All right, our next word is gripendit. Gripendit. Sounds. G, R, I, P, I, N, D, I, T. That's a lot of sounds. Let's spell the consonants. G, R, I, P, I, N, D, I, T. Okay, for the I sound, I spell it with an I. Can it say I there? Yes, because of that vowel 2 doors away. For the I sound, I'm going to start with an I. Can I leave this spelling as is? Yes, for 2 reasons. First, there are 2 consonants after it. So that I can say I just fine. Second reason is because I in the middle syllable gets to say I regardless of how many consonants are after it. And then this I can say I right there, just fine. So there's gripin dit. Gripin dit. What would this word have said if it had two P's? Just to yourself. What would that have said? Grippin dit. Grippin dit. Very good. All right, your word is shy mitten. Shy mitten. Go ahead. Shy mi with my mouth closed in the middle. Tin with my mouth open at the end. Shy mitten. Well done, Sarah. Shy mitten. Good, Joseph. Well done. So our consonants are sh, I, m, I, t, I, n. Vowels. Even though you probably know how to spell that word, shy, we can't rely on our knowledge of spelling individual words when we hear those word chunks in longer words. Because when a vowel changes its position in a word, then that spelling changes. That's why I always say you have to know where a vowel sits in the word and the letters that surround it in order to know how to spell that sound. Because this is how you spell the I sound in the word shy, but it's not how you spell the I sound in this part that says shy in this word, because of where it sits in the word and the letters that surround it. I call that the vowel placement strategy. You have to know what's happening within the word before you know how to spell it, regardless of how it's spelled elsewhere. Every word is different. So we're going to spell this I with an I because there's a vowel in the next one or two spots. This I can just be regular I without doubling the T. You don't need to double the T here because it's in the middle syllable. I's in the middle syllable get to say I regardless of how many consonants are after it. Look at how many correct spellings are. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And then we have that I at the end that says, that I at the end that says I just fine. Wow, you guys are smoking I here. All right, let's do Shun for our next Beverly, are you asking me, can anybody see, can people see me? Can you see me? Put in the chat if you can see me or if you can only see the whiteboard. Or put in the question mark or put in the chat. So one person said no, one person said yes. Okay, a lot of people do say yes, that they can see me. Interesting. Let me see if does that help, Beverly, if I move my picture over? I just kind of copy and pasted my little camera view and slid it over. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, you can see me, but some people are saying, no, you can't. Interesting. I'll do some Googling or some chat GPTing and see if I can figure that out for you guys. And feel free to do that on your own as well. Okay, so this word is going to say shun at the end. And there are two different ways to spell shun. You can spell it. Put this in the chat here. You can spell it T-I-O-N or you can spell it C-I-A-N. Those both say shun. The T-I-O-N is for nouns mostly, like nation or station. The C-I-A-N is for professions, like physician or magician. So this word that we're going to spell now ends with shun and it is a noun. So our word is pryshun. Pryshun. Let's do this one together. P-R-I-S-H-U-N. Here's a vowel sound. Consonants. P-R-I-S-H-U-N. Toward the end of a longer word, when there's a vowel after it, is spelled TI. And when you have a TI starting a shun unit, it is spelled TION. And then this I spells the I sound right there. So that is how you would spell pry-shun. Good, very good. I can see, but it depends if the person viewing and their settings. Thank you, Nathan. So Nathan is saying if you can't see me, it might be in your settings. I'll check my settings too, just to make sure that everybody has the option to see me. Yeah, we're using the Q&A for the chat. Okay, I want you to spell this noun. Your word is Blytion. Blytion. So it's not a profession, it's a noun. Go ahead. Blytion. Blytion. And when we hear a shun at the end of most words, especially nouns, it's going to be spelled T-I-O-N. Blytion. Yes, Fatima, I can. All right, so our consonants are B, O, I, and here we have our sh, n. When you hear this at the end of most words, especially nouns, it's going to be spelled T-I-O-N. And then we have an I that says I right there, just fine. Now, let's do a professional. Sarah, that's funny. Yeah, I noticed that. All right, your professional is going to be somebody who makes you brighter for a living. Brightician. Brightician. Go ahead and try this one on your own. And remember, if it is, I'm going to erase this right here. If it's a profession, shun is going to be spelled C-I-A-N. So your word is brightician. Go ahead. Brightician. Brightician. Excellent. Very good. So the consonants B, I, T, I. And if it's a profession, we're going to spell it C-I-A-N at the end. Okay? For the I sound, we're going to use a long I right here, which says I because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. For the I sound right here, an I will work because it's in the middle syllable. Now, look at what you have learned. My goodness, I see an awful lot of correct answers here in the chat. My goodness, I'm glad we had this extra I lesson so that you could see how good you are doing and how much you have learned. I saw it. That was remarkable. So you have learned that I says I if one of the next 2 letters has another vowel. It says I if not. IGH says I in the middle says I, TI says sh, CI says sh. And hopefully you have learned that you're brilliant. I did. I had it proven again. All right, if you are not yet in the practicum, it's going to be 4 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but not all of them, 4 Tuesdays and Thursdays a month. Everybody's invited to join. The link is in the module. That's where I get to see you live and you get to see me and we get to work one-on-one. So hopefully I'll see you there. It starts next week. And if I'm seeing you in the reading class, I'll see you over there right now. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.